Situated on the River Avon in the county of Somerset and lying between the Cotswolds to the north and the Mendips to the south, the city of Bath is famous for its Georgian elegance and refinement. But in AD 43, a Roman settlement was founded on one of the most important routes of the day, the Fosse Way. It was developed as a recreational centre rather than as a garrison, as it contained the only hot springs in Britain. Our postcard today, Aquae Sulis, Roman Bath. This is where you come to visit the Roman baths. And above you, the most spectacular ceiling. Over in the corner, you have winter, then you have spring, and you have summer, and you have autumn. Each of the goddesses of the season stand on a winged orb with the zodiac signs underneath her. Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius for winter. For spring, she holds the fresh bough of new life. Pisces, Aries, and Taurus, the equinoctial sun. Summer, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo. And finally autumn, with her scythe and with the ripened apples, the harvest around her, and she sits on Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. This was originally a concert hall, but the acoustics were not strong enough or good enough to warrant its use as that. But it's now become the entrance hall into the Roman baths. And with the goddesses of all of the seasons around you, it shows that you can come any time of the year to find respite amongst the waters of Bath. Surely one of the most magnificent settings anywhere in the world for just the entrance hall to buy your tickets. I have a rendezvous, not with a Roman, but with Alison. This looks like her. Hello, Alison.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Now, my dear, you know everything there is to know about Bath, or the Roman baths, don't you?
Well, I wouldn't say everything, but I know quite a bit.
Well, that's brilliant, because I want you to tell me, because I cannot believe the steam rising off that water to begin with. How did they all discover this? Because it was discovered by the Romans, but it's been rediscovered since then, hasn't it?
Yes. Well, let's put it in perspective, first of all. The water has been coming up for thousands of years, and before the Romans were here, there were Celts. And when the Romans came here, having invaded...
That's why you're here. There were Celts here.
That's
you never went back, did you?
No, we just stayed. They've always been here. And so they worshipped a goddess called Sulis. We haven't found any trace of anything they built, but the Romans called the place Aquae Sulis because of the wonderful water. Now it's bubbling up all the time. It never stops. We get the same temperature, whether it's summer or winter, and we get the same amount. The temperature is 46.5 Celsius, and the amount we get is over 1 million litres.
I'm drawn to this picture
Oh,
here.
it's a wonderful one. Let me explain about this. This pool here is not where the water's coming in. That's another one. The water flows in here from where the spring comes in. And this was lost because the system the Romans put in dealt with some problems in the spring of mud and silt. This closed down after the Romans left. It would have taken a little while. The roof falls in, the mud and silt builds up, and probably most of the water stopped flowing through here. There might have been a trickle. Now, we've no exact dating, but we're into the Saxon period and then into the medieval. And the people just built on top, because this has got a lead lining, been nice and solid. And all through the centuries, with flooding from the river, it became higher and higher. We are 18 feet, that's about 6 meters above the present-day city, and they just built on top. Lovely housing on top, beautiful Georgian housing, the same as around. Now, if you look very carefully, you can see the fireplace there.
Yes, yes, just
Houses there.
That
Yes,
little
yes.
niche.
Housing. And they were all very happy in their houses and they liked them, but suddenly they were having a problem, hot water. They weren't very happy about that because they thought the spring perhaps had changed direction. So they did some investigative work done by Major Davis, who was the current city engineer. And they realized after some moving around and digging that there was something of major importance here because he hit the lead pipe. And then They managed to buy back the houses. I don't know whether they'd be allowed to do that today and knock them down, because this whole city is listed.
Yes, yes.
It's a World Heritage City.
I'm not surprised.
They knocked them down, and if you look at this picture, you can actually see the scaffolding and the bits and pieces piled up. And where we are standing now is just about where the fireplace is. And this was built 100 years ago. Now, this is the key place. I don't think the Romans would ever have built here if it hadn't been for this hot spring. It's the only hot springs in the whole of Britain. There's other places that are warm, but this is always hot water. And it's they who controlled it. They were wonderful plumbers and engineers. And it's they who did all the things that made what we have today. And what they did to control the mud and silt it brings up, we're still using, with one exception, about 2,000 years later. It is so fantastic.
Take me onto your veranda.
Oh, certainly. I'll
You
be happy.
Celtic princess.
Oh, no. That sounds wonderful.
Tell me now what the Romans would have done then. What did they see? I mean, okay, it's warm.
Yes.
But are there meant to be medicinal,
Well, yes, they would. Now,
you know?
the Romans were very good at going to places that might have healing properties, and this is one of the things they would have looked for here. Now, when you go through our museum, there are tombstones and altars, and we also have curses that were thrown in, and they regarded the goddess who was supposed to be inhabiting the spring as very, very sacred. And some might have come here looking for healing and perhaps died here.
Ah.
Now, this pool is unique. The Romans had a bathing system which was all over the empire. I mean, they had bathhouses everywhere. We have bathhouses on either wing of this pool, but that's not special. What's unique here is the hot spring. And can you imagine coming off Hadrian's Wall on a January, coming down for rest and recreation and coming down here? And this is all roofed in, beautiful hot water.
So Bath would have been like their holiday resort.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And in the alcoves, which we have here, there would have been couches. You could have food and drink brought to you. You might be here the whole day. Around the outside, there would have been shops selling things. They had a takeaway service. You could have a massage, manicure, pedicure, latest in hairstyles. And of course, the Romans did not like any hair on their bodies, not a scrap. And that applied to men as well as women, and particularly underarm hair. And one of the methods was to use tweezers to remove it. There would have been an arm plucker on the side.
One hair at a time.
Yes.
Blimmin'.
Yes.
Blimmin' as I'm known to say.
Allipolis, as the man's would have been called. And they would have been touting for business. And when they got the business, perhaps the person was screaming. So it would have been a bit noisy down here. And we're coming down. You know, at the back of your sink, you have an overflow. This is the overflow. This is the excess water that's coming up. It doesn't go into the Great Bath. And you can hear the thunder of it.
Can.
And you can see, this is only the excess water. Look at it.
And look at the steam coming up. And look at the colour.
The water is clear. That's staining because of the minerals in the water. And that's iron that's causing that.
I was about to say, what minerals have they found in there? Iron, copper? Because that would make things show that colour,
we
wouldn't
have
it?
43 minerals in it.
Well, she wouldn't let me get away with it. Alison's come up especially to make sure that I taste the water. And here it is.
Taste it. There you are.
I know, I
Feels
have to.
warm.
It's warm.
Yes.
And
46.5, and that's coming from a shaft, a special shaft that was put in 300 feet down, 80 metres down. That's some of the purest water you will ever drink in this country.
it's actually not that bad. It's not salty. Now, it reminds me of fizzy water that's gone flat and been
Exactly.
warmed up. Is that right?
Yes. But this water is coming from, do you want to know where it's coming from?
Yeah, tell me.
2.5 miles down.
Is it?
Yes. That's where it's warmed. It's not volcanic. It's just the natural heat that's down in the earth.
There's
And
an
it comes up
aftertaste
here.
too, isn't there?
Yes.
Well, I need to go and wash my mouth out, as my mother once said. Bye from Somerset.